Good evening, everyone. It's Wednesday. It's 8 o'clock. It's the Next Generation Review Show.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop. Good evening, everyone. And welcome along to me, Montalban, and my co-hosts, G-Star and Mazza McBob. Good evening, everyone.
Yellow.
Is that you doing the Vulcan sign with two hands because you can't do the actual one?
No, it's just a piece.
It's like if I put it together.
It's a known symbol from ancient Earth.
Yeah.
From back in the 20th century, a lot of people used to use it. It meant peace.
Peace out. So good evening to you guys, and good evening to chat. Good evening to Smiler. My wrench, good evening to Stuplum. Good to have you on board already. Hope you're ready to answer those questions. G-Star, welcome back after your week away last week. How are you this week?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Sorry for my absence last week. I had an intensive interview last week, which went very well. And more interviews this week.
You're
Lots of stuff going on.
Loving your life of interviews at the moment.
Yeah, people just want to talk to me.
Just to let you know, Mickey early is in chat. He's on his way home from the gym at the moment, but he's managed to log on and say hi, and he's up to date with his episodes. So he's ready with his notes. He's all with us this evening.
I want to put
brilliant.
a big thank you out to Mickey actually, because he was commenting on this week's G-Star Vault that I put out, and he was commenting a lot. He'd done a bit of digging and a bit of research himself, and he was so far the first person, I think, and apologies if I'm wrong, he was the first person to follow the comment lingo of putting either Vault or Oblivion. He chose Oblivion on that one. But yeah, I know it's a different show. This is the TNG review, but thank you, Mickey,
good
for
stuff.
really getting involved.
Yeah, brilliant. And good evening to Maz and Bob. Good evening, Maz.
Hi.
How are you this evening?
I'm good, yeah.
And this
got
week,
my notes too, as per usual.
You've got your notes. Have we got many goofs and bloopers this evening?
Yeah, a couple of interesting things actually that are particularly poignant for yourself and me, which we'll get to later. It's something we used to like as kids, but a couple of bits and bobs should be good.
Good stuff.
That's good, because I found it really hard to find any sort of like interesting facts on this one. Just to back you up. So well done.
And
I've got 5 questions though.
5 questions. I don't think I've got that many points to give away. I'm gonna. Where's my wallet?
Hey, they're my points to give away, not yours. I'm the points man. I'm the quiz master.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So if you like question time, there are 5 questions coming at you this evening. It's going to be like boom, boom. Question time.
Oh, do you know?
Question time.
Now I've seen the optics of all 5 TNG uniforms and all 3 TNG uniforms and colours on the screen.
You like it?
I don't think I'll be able to go back to my All Good Things. Sorry, not All Good Things. First Contact uniform now.
It does look good.
It looks too good. It looks too good. I like it.
It's starting to look a little bit like Wesley's outfit in season 1.
Yes, right. Yeah.
We'll have to make sure we're in the right order, like when you put this on the left-hand side.
Well, we need somebody in green. I'm sure there's green in there somewhere.
No, that was just when they were using the green screen. They changed his blue stripe to a green stripe, but that was only for one particular scene.
All right.
We've heard G-Star's week's been sucky with interviews. Anything interesting in your week?
Not so much, just mainly work, and I've made a bit of a decision. You know, like most people, I haven't really been on holiday or spent much money for the last year, so I thought I might do something interesting and get rid of my baby grand piano, which I've had for about
What?
15
No.
years. Yeah, and I'm probably going to give it away for free, to be honest, because I got it for free.
I love it.
And it's like you've got space for it.
It'll have to stay in the garden, but I love it.
They do cost quite a bit to move, and people have trouble sort of getting rid of them. So I thought if I offer it just for free, as I got it for free, and if somebody wants to move it, and what I've been thinking of doing, which I'm maybe a little bit skeptical of, but I can see the benefits as well, is I'm thinking of getting an electric piano or a digital piano, because you can get digital baby grand pianos, so it would still fit in the bay window, and they look absolutely beautiful. And they got the pedals, and they have the kind of the realistic hammer keys, and so it should feel roughly the same, but it has the benefits that it's not going to go out of tune. And you can do different voices on it if you want. You can do dual mode, where you've got sort of something different in the bass. You can do like a guitar in the bass, you could have strings in the in the right, and you can record on it as well. It has like all sorts of jacks, inputs, outputs, USBs, MIDIs, all sorts of things. So I've had a couple of people in the past contact me about overlaying some music onto their tracks and things. And, with my kind of setup here with acoustic and no kind of sound recording equipment, I've never been able to do that. But that will become possible in the future. So it'd be good to collaborate.
Very cool.
Maybe something for you to do an unboxing of.
No Smiler. No room at the inn for Monty.
You've got a big enough house.
I'm gonna build a wood pallet shed, and it'll go in the wood pallet shed in the garden.
There's a new project.
It's gonna be some shed. Oh, very cool.
Yep.
Very, very, very cool.
Very cool. It's the way to go. Digital baby grand.
Yeah.
It's the way to go. Maintenance wise, it will be like, so much money. Yeah, exactly.
I'll be able to play some of my digital drums with your digital piano.
Yeah, that would be awesome. And you could do like, all sort of synth sounds with them. And and I think you can overlay multiple tracks as well. So I could, I've got some music, like I've got some Muse stuff where I've got the acoustic piano part, and I've also got the, the electric guitar melody. So I could probably lay one on top of the other, and then, put a vocal on top and things like that. So yeah, it's quite interesting.
Very, very cool.
I don't quite know yet how I'd record a vocal on it, but I'm sure there must be a way.
There is a way. There'll be a way.
Yeah.
Or if not, you can just attach it to your laptop and to your Surface Pro and just record it onto that.
True.
Yes.
Well, I feel that I often have two jobs. One is question time, and then the other one is just to say to everybody, don't forget to like this video right now. And if you're tuning in and watching us and this is your first time, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. And if
I'm doing it now.
So you never miss an episode.
I've done it myself.
Wicked. I've already done it.
Good evening, Karen.
Hello, Karen.
Karen, the lovely Karen. It's all right. You can say hello.
Hi, Karen.
Hello, Karen.
I said hello in chat.
You did. Right. Tonight's episode.
How was your week? You haven't mentioned how your week was.
It was all right. Yeah, not bad.
Oh, I got my jab as well last weekend. Yay.
Sorry?
Finally got my jibby jab. Jibby jab.
Yes.
I'm very excited about that.
Very excited.
Oh, you've had it?
Yeah, last Saturday.
Oh.
You had the
Moderna. Which was weird because I didn't know anybody else that had that. And they nearly didn't give it to me because of anaphylaxis, but they just kept me for longer observation.
Right. Yes. Smiler's had a Moderna now as well. So you're now Moderna sisters. There you go.
Yay.
Yeah.
Well, that was quick, Mickey. Got home pretty fast.
Yeah, we just been chatting away. I've been giving him time. Stalling.
Mickey. We won't ask any questions until you're here.
Yeah.
He's done his research. He's got his notes.
He's ready. He's ready to rock and roll. Right. Yes. So tonight's episode is the Schizoid Man.
Bring up the pick.
Oh yeah. Oh no! Wait. Cancel that. Forgot that. first, we've got to do some admin from last week's episode because we didn't have G-Star with us last week, so we didn't get a G-Star score, which means we haven't been able to give the episode its full rating. So, Mr. G-Star, can we have last week's score for the episode Loud as a Whisper?
1, 2, 3.
Drum roll.
4.
Oh, that's a great score.
That was the same as what Monty gave it.
That's the same as what I gave it.
I was just surprised. I really thought it was, above average, and
What did
certainly
you
not
score it
where I scored it a 6. Yeah, but
6.
You and Monty seem to think it's worse than The Child, which I find bizarre. In fact, no, you scored it.
You scored it the
you
same
both
as The
said
Child.
A lot worse than The Child.
In hindsight, I probably should have given The Child a 4 as well.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh
yeah, you did yours the same as The Child, actually, didn't you, Gary?
Yeah, he did.
Yes, yeah.
So, let me just make that bigger so we can see the bloody graph. There we go. So
Worst episode yet.
It's joint worst. Yes, joint worst. The Child and Loud as a Whisper.
Yeah.
It's probably you're probably right. That's probably maybe not fair, but
well,
it's roughly there. I think it's there or thereabouts.
It's individual taste, I think, and also timing. I think has a big part to play in it. When I was watching or looking at some reviews online of TNG episodes, it's sort of like over the decades, certain ones have gone up and down. On what people think about them. I think,
it is strange how I'm finding I'm liking different ones to the ones I thought I'd be liking. It's strange.
Yeah.
So there we go. That's that score. So we've got that. And now you want the picture for the show. There we go. Ready to rock and roll. Oh, I need to...
Oh, just to mention, when you go to opening titles, I can go to the first question.
Right. Okie dokie. And this week we haven't talked about what I need to avoid. So here's hoping.
Well, I've got 5 questions in the bag, but that could reduce down to 4 or 3, depending on how much your mouth goes.
Rot roll.
He's going to give all the facts, so oops.
Yeah.
I'll try to keep away from facts.
Maybe if he says something, ask it at the end. By then, people will have forgotten.
Just a bit of a warning. My questions this evening are focused on people's feelings.
Oh my gosh!
No,
right, okay. Anyway, Mickey's got home. He's off his Bluetooth and he's now on his PC. So he's settling in. He's ready. He's with us. So the Schizoid Man. The Enterprise is on its way to assist Ira Graves, whose assistant contacted them requesting medical aid. In Dr. Pulaski's medical log, is this the first time we've started the episode with a Dr. Pulaski medical log?
Yeah. Certainly is.
Ah, see, I knew you'd know that. Is it the only time we start an episode with Dr. Pulaski's medical log?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying it because she's only been in 5 episodes and that certainly hasn't happened yet. It wasn't a piece of trivia.
I think it was. I saw something this afternoon on it, and I think it was the one and only.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Cool. Where in her log she calls him the greatest human mind in the universe.
That's a bit of a claim.
That is a claim, isn't it? She knows everyone in the universe. So there's no end to her abilities.
Bearing in mind, personally, I think he's a bit of a not a very nice person.
Arse.
How can he be that great?
Yeah. I did spoil one thing last week, didn't I? I said I'm sure in this episode it's the guy from Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country, from he's the head of the Ruapente penal colony, and sure enough, it was him.
He is, that's right. And do you know who else he plays?
I remember he played a guy, like a telepath-like guy in Babylon 5, only because...
Oh, he did play a couple of different characters in Babylon 5, actually.
Only because I remember his character was always in the intro of the first season.
I think it was like Jakar's cousin as well, uncle as well at some point. But in Star Trek, he plays a guy called Katai in Voyager. He's
Right.
the one who's like trying to get his white whale of a beastie. They're like fighting this space creature or something.
Oh yeah.
He's being like Captain Ahab style of thing.
Oh, yes, I
Also plays a
remember.
Vulcan science minister in the 2009 Star Trek reboot film.
Does he? I did not know that. Right.
There you go.
There you go. He's been
right in there with the trivia.
He's been in a lot of other shows that I used to like in the 90s as well. He was quite a common like episode character actor. You can tell, I haven't read up about him, but I bet my ass he's like Royal Shakespeare Company. He's got like
Correct.
Shakespearean theatre background. Because you can just tell the way he delivers his lines. He's, he comes from that
correct.
same...
I actually looked up where he was from because it sounded to me like he had a slight West Country twang. But apparently he was born and bred in London. And has
Do you
been
know what?
part of
I thought
various
exactly the
Shakespeare
same
troupes.
thing.
And I've thought that when I've seen him in Voyager before, but nothing I could find links him to the West Country. So
It's his
a bit odd.
R's.
Yeah.
He's got the R's. Anyway, we're getting ahead of ourselves probably.
We are.
On the bridge, Picard summarizes that Starfleet considers this a priority one due to Ira's work on molecular cybernetics.
I know it would have broken up her internal monologue, but she gets in the turbolift and goes to the bridge without giving the turbolift a single command. It's like it became psychic all of a sudden.
I think the computer is psychic a lot of times because they just say they want to they start comms with someone, and
then they chat amongst themselves and forget to end comms.
They don't end it or anything. The computer just knows.
There was some criticism of this scene and the scripting for Dr. Pulaski in the line that she says something like, a sick man is my number one priority.
Right.
Which is a bit obvious because she's a doctor. So that, yeah, there was a bit of criticism for that line. Badly scripted.
Troy and Geordie are on their way to see Data to check out his new image. I noticed in that as they were walking along chatting on their way to Data's quarters that Geordie had a wonky comm badge. His comm badge was on sideways. He had your problem. Yeah, he had your problem. He had a wonky comm badge.
I didn't notice that.
We all get it from time to time.
Yeah. Picard has one as well when he's talking to, when he's in engineering later on. He has a wonky comm badge. But anyway, I don't know why I noticed that. They enter Data's quarters to find Data sporting a beard. Geordie asks him if he's damaged his face, which I thought was a bit rude. Nothing wrong with
Question time.
Oh, question time.
Yeah. So this is the first Lieutenant Commander question worth 25 TNG points. It is multiple choice. The question is, when Data asked for Geordie and Troy's thoughts on his beard, what word does Troy use to describe Data's beard? Is it A, interesting, B, flattering, C, different, or D, unusual?
Oh.
What is the word that Troy uses to describe Data's beard? A, interesting, B, flattering, C, different, or D, unusual? Put your
Sorry,
answers
once
in chat,
more.
please.
Smiler's asked me to type it in. So once more, sorry, G.
Oh, yes, because she's working on furniture in my daughter's bedroom at the moment, so
Okay.
she hasn't got access to a keyboard.
Okay. What word does Troy use to describe Data's beard? A, interesting.
I think she got it. A, interesting. B, flattering. C,
different,
or D, unusual. Answers on a postcard? Well, no, not on a postcard. That won't help here. You won't get any points if you put answers on a postcard.
We're in the 24th century, not in
yes,
in the 1980s. Oh, lots of different answers coming through. It's almost like creating an alphabet.
If you're dyslexic.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I'll just carry on a little bit just in case there aren't any
go on.
others around.
Yeah, go on. It's close to the opening titles.
So Data's sporting a beard. You might have seen it in the thumbnail earlier. Oh, is there a... That's a good point, Mark. No, there's not. I thought there might be a picture of his beard, but there's not one there.
That's a real shame.
I know, it's good, isn't it? It's a good picture. Yes, Data explains that it's a fine, full, dignified beard. One which commands respect. You can tell that I actually like this scene about a beard. I don't know why. But,
I do.
it just talked to me for some reason. I
love the way he delivers the line as well.
One which commands respect and projects thoughtfulness. He then asks that if he strokes it thusly, does he appear more intellectual? Troy's just like bursting into laughter, so she can't hold it any longer. So she's like, "Excuse me," and leaves Data's quarters, giggling her way out. I'm guessing whatever happens in that room between him and Geordie after that little scene, but it doesn't go very well because the very next time we see Data, it's gone. So,
it's a shame.
Yeah, it's a shame.
You know,
it could have worked. We could have got used to it. And
look better than Rikers anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know at what point it was supposed to be there, but apparently there was an unfilmed scene from the script later on in the episode where Data turns up with like a bald head, this time trying to look like Jean-Luc Picard instead of Riker. But obviously they decided never to do that. But I think that would have been hilarious.
They should have done
that's
that.
a shame. Yeah.
They should have done that.
Do I look more wise?
Do I not look more dignified?
Do I not look more leadership-like?
Make it so, Geordie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, right, on the bridge, they receive a call from the assistant, and it appears that she's made the call in fear. But Worf confirms that there are only 2 life forms on the planet, so they're left wondering why is she in fear of calling out and what might be happening. And we go to the title. Do you want to do the answers to question number 1?
Yeah, sure. So right there somewhere in chat, there is a correct answer, which is good news. So somebody's getting 25 TNG points.
So it wasn't unusual then?
My guess would be C. Unusual. But it could be A. But my first guess would be C.
Thoughts be, Monty?
I am going to go A.
A does seem quite interesting. However, you'd have to be a little bit different and go with C. So well done, Mickey. You straight off with 25 TNG points.
I was going to say this is what you get for watching the episode and making notes, but then I saw in the comments that Mickey said that was not in my notes. But you know, it's the thought that counts and the luck.
Just guess along with everyone else.
It's the luck. There you go. Act 1. So they then get hailed by the USS Constantinople, and that reminds me of an Uncle Arthur joke that he used to tell us all the time when we were kids, and it was Constantinople. It's a very long word. How do you spell it?
IT.
Yeah. How often did we hear that joke, Matt?
A lot. Probably at least once a week.
At least once or twice a week.
About 10 years.
Through most of our childhood. Dear. Anyway.
Did he realise that you cottoned on and, you know...
Yeah, he just used to say the same jokes over and over again.
Sweet.
Like, I was in a pub next to a guy with one arm. And I said, "Oi, mate." Your sleeve's dangling in my beard. He says, "All right, there's no arm in it." We'd hear that one every week as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had a captive audience in us too, didn't
He
he?
did,
Bless
yeah.
him.
Constantinople. Yep. The Constantinople was suffering with a hull breach and has 2012 colonists on board. Dr. Pulaski highlights that they need to help them because they're going to die of asphyxiation. And when asked about, but what about Ira? She was like, needs of the many. She didn't say that, but that's what the summary of that conversation.
He's just one man.
Yeah. So Riker suggests that they do a long-range near-warp transport of the away team to help Dr. Graves. So Dr. Pulaski sends Lieutenant Solar as she will be staying there to help with the Constantinople. Oh dear. Yeah. I'm not going to read that one out.
Did anybody pick up an interesting fact about Dr. Solar?
Yes, she's Worf's Mrs.
Bit of stuff.
Who's the
and the mother
of
Alexander.
Alexander. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. No.
And she's also Mrs. Lady Q in Voyager.
Yeah, she is. I forgot about that one. Yeah.
I'll give you 50 TNG points if you know her name.
I can't remember her name.
Oh, see, that's not. You don't know everything.
Susie Plax.
Susie Plaxton.
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 That's close.
You were close. I'll give you 10.
Do you remember the name of Worf's Mrs.
Kayla.
Yeah. Probably should got it in your notes in front of you.
Very good. Very good.
Also, so do you know what the word schizoid means?
Mad.
Because a lot of people would interpret that as being like
personalities.
dual personality, which is obviously, a part of what this episode's about. But schizophrenia, which is dual personality, is different to schizoid. Schizoid is actually somebody who is, unsociable, aloof, apathetic. So that's actually describing the grumpy old man's character rather than like a split personality. But also, this is the one that's going to twist your melon, Mark, is this episode was called Schizoid. There was also another episode called Schizoid from the series The Prisoner. And originally, this was written with Patrick McGowan in mind to play the main character. And then that didn't end up happening. But, it was written with that Prisoner episode in mind, which was also about, two people and one person thinking he was another person and all that kind of thing, kind of imposters and stuff. So, I thought you might find that interesting because we loved the Prisoner.
I loved that show. It was fantastic.
Yeah, we did. I remember us sort of sitting on the floor of your bedroom as a kid watching it episode after episode.
Yeah.
I thought it was brilliant.
Yeah, it was great. I'm going to get that. I haven't got that anywhere.
We should watch that again.
Yeah, very good. Stu Plum says King Kong plays ping pong with his...
It's ding dong.
Another Uncle Arthur joke. It was another Uncle Arthur joke, yeah.
Bless.
Right.
Have we got any pictures yet, by the way? I don't know.
I don't think so.
Okay.
There you go. That's the first one. We're getting there, so I'll leave that on there. So that's Solar we're talking about, yeah. Ironically, next to Worf there. So,
this scene that you're talking about at the moment, I was really disappointed. I think that Geordie should have been fired, really, because he had a perfect opportunity to transport Troy into the wall.
Yeah.
But he obviously just missed. And I
mean, they're doing this near warp transport. It's like all they have to do is wait an extra second until the transport's completed and then warp off. The fact that there's a risk of scrambling that was complete unnecessary risk to take. It's just bizarre.
They could just wait a few more seconds. It's not like they like beam, they like stop for a second and then disappear again. They kind of stop for a second,
Oh, actor, waited
mooch
for everybody
about,
to get on the
and
transporter.
then wait to be. It's like, why?
It was an extremely strange production choice, because you could have just not shown them stopping, and
Yeah,
you would have got the
exactly.
sense that what they were talking about was transporting whilst they're at impulse or low
Yeah.
warp.
Yeah,
or
I mean,
something,
even at impulse, why not just like, just slow down and then beam and then speed up again?
Very strange choice.
And did you know, another piece of trivia, this is the only time ever in TNG, and again, I don't know if all of these facts are 100% correct. I don't know who's like really watched it all. But apparently the only time in TNG ever where there's not a single full human on the away team. So it was Worf,
Worf, Troy,
Data,
Data,
the Vulcan lady, and a half
Vulcan.
Betazoid.
Yeah. The only time.
Apparently so.
Okay.
Normally it would have like Geordie or Riker or.
Yeah. Okay, we'll keep an eye out for that.
I mean, there must be a time
Must be
where
another time.
just like Data and Worf have gone somewhere because they're like the strongest ones or something.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know who's literally watched it end to end, like looking out for these things, but maybe we'll catch that again
We're gonna
sometime.
catch him.
Maybe it means like when you say away team, it means more than two.
Maybe.
An away team's an away team, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But it's still a bit of an interesting factoid.
I can't believe that. I can't believe it. But let's see. Well, let's see. I'm about to describe that scene as well. So anyway, one thing about it that I will comment on, and did I get to it? Yes. They get beamed down by Geordie, because I can only assume that Chief O'Brien was suspended or fired after last week beaming the away team constantly to the edge of a cliff. He instantly got demoted, and they're like, stop beaming the command crew to the edge of cliffs. And it's like, you stop it, right? Geordie will do it now. And so we have Geordie in the transporter room today. So he goes to beam him down. No one towed Troy. He's like, and of course it'll be a near warp beam down. So, watch yourselves, because it gets weird. A bit weird. And she's like, what do you mean near what? And she's like, energize. And they arrive on the planet, and Troy's like, I thought I was in that wharf for a moment. And Worf's like, yeah, for a moment you were.
What's weird is the line that Data delivers first when they beam down, and he goes, now you know.
No, you know, yeah.
It's very camp, and it's very like inappropriate. Yeah. It's like, now you know.
Yeah. So then they meet the assistant, Karine Brianna. And there she is. And I was thinking when I first saw this, she's a robot. The doctor's bit, but she's not real.
That's another episode.
There's no way like this old man has an assistant living with him like this. That's not happening. But no, she's a person. Not that Data's not a person. And it turns out that the fear they saw in the assistant was because she went behind the doctor's back in requesting assistance. He doesn't want help. Ira then enters full of bluster, and we find that he is indeed a grumpy old man. Sarah asks what his symptoms are, and Karine informs him that he has pain, shortness of breath, and irritability. Well, hang on a minute. I've got pain, like in my knees, and I've got shortness of breath because of my asthma, and I'm generally irritable all the time. I'm going to die! It did seem like a description of someone, that's fatally suffering. But anyway, that's the description we get. Anyway, Twitchy shouts, ridiculous! Ira doesn't want to be touched. He doesn't like people, and doctors even less. Though looking Solar up and down tells her that for a doctor, she's not a bad-looking woman. Crean asks Worf if he's a Romulan, which I think that line should have been delivered to Dr. Solar there.
Yeah, it's a bit odd, isn't it?
You think because surely she's got computers and pictures, you know.
She's never watched the news.
She's never read Encyclopedia Britannica or something. I don't know, you know. She's never looked at Wikipedia in the 24th century. Yes, but the doctor tells her that well, they don't look alike, but they just act alike, which kind of winds Worf up even more. He then inspects Data, telling him that he's got no aesthetic value whatsoever, but looks like Sung's work. He said he taught Sung everything he knew, which makes, and he says this is quite, it makes me the father of his work, which makes me your grandfather, doesn't it, Sonny? Which I think is also a little bit of an odd thing, because if he says he's the father of Sung's work, then that would make him his father rather than his grandfather. I don't know. It just didn't quite work.
It was weird because he in one part he sort of is insulting Noonien Sung, and then in another part he's like wanting to make claim that he's related and he's part to do with his creation. And
yeah, but both of those things would be true for somebody who's just really arrogant and you know, egotistical.
Which he is.
Criticize others, but take the glory for everything anybody's ever done that knows you.
That makes me the father of all his work. So that makes me your grandfather. I just didn't quite work how mine worked out. Anyway, he then shouts at Selar for scanning him, creeping up behind him and scanning him. And she tells him that he's got Derace. I can't even read my own writing. Derace disease. Darnay's. Oh, it's R's, not N's. Darnay's disease. Yeah.
And do you know why that is significant?
Is that what Picard's got later on down the line?
No. And this, you know, this is a theory, but Darnay's disease may be an allusion to the character Charles Darnay in Tale of Two Cities, which is a tale about identity theft and imposture.
Oh, is it really?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
a little literary Easter egg.
It was the best of times. It was the worst of times.
The worst of times.
The condition that Picard's got later down the line begins with a D as well, though.
It did, didn't it? It began with a D.
Yeah, it's. I can't remember the name of it now.
We'll figure it out in a minute.
Though they didn't use that in Picard.
Continue.
Even though they set up the fact that Picard has a disease.
Oh, yeah, he was coming down with it, yeah.
You know, when he was they thought he was all going mad in all good things because he's always known he carries this genetic disease thing that's always going to get him. And then by Picard, they completely forget that and they give him a completely different disease that he's dying from.
Yeah.
not the same one. It's like, can you even just stick to that one simple premise?
Oh, no, it's not a D. It's Irumodic syndrome.
Irumodic syndrome, that's the one. Yeah. Yes, so anyway, that was Act 1. Act 2. The Enterprise successfully saved everyone on the Constantinople and is now heading back to Graves World. I like the way they just do that. Like, you don't see one thing from it. It's just a quick thing of the shot of the Enterprise. All done. On the way back.
Question time. So this one is a commander question, and then we're going to rubber band back to the lieutenant commander question in a minute. But this is a commander one, so it's worth 50 TNG points, and it's still multiple choice. So in the captain's log, Picard states that after completing repairs to the transport ship, they're heading back to Graves World with A, essential urgency, B, great urgency, C, essential dispatch, or D, great dispatch. In his captain's log, Picard states that after completing repairs to the transport ship, they're heading back to Graves World with A, essential urgency, B, great urgency, or C, essential dispatch, or D, great dispatch?
I know. I don't have it written down, but there's only one of those that I can actually hear him saying in my head.
Same. I reckon I know. I don't know, but I think I know.
While we're seeing those results come in, you said it was just that one shot of the Enterprise coming back. I mean, this came up on the like sort of the goofs, but I had to pause it to check, and it is true. That picture, that shot of the Enterprise coming back is a mirror image.
Oh, is it?
If you pause it at the right time, you can see the NCC 1701D is written backwards.
Yeah.
I don't know who spotted that though, because it was quite difficult to see because it was like a very oblique angle. You can only just sort of slightly see it, and you have to pause it.
You can just make out the shape, like it's just not quite right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move the picture on, shall we? Let's do that. There's Graves, the grumpy old man. Grumpy old git. Look at him. Gravelly.
Eyeball going off on its own.
Yeah. He's got a glass eye.
Mm.
I don't know. You can probably tell me why he's got a glass eye.
It was the good of the best of times. For
him, it was the worst of times. Okay. I don't know either. In Graves' lab, Data inquires the tune that Ira keeps whistling. He's whistling away, and Ira tells him it was If Only I Had a Heart. It was about a mechanical man who wished to be human, but found out he was human all along. He just spent too long a time worrying about it. And he tells Data that he feels sorry for him because his life must be like living in purgatory, neither dead nor alive, not being able to experience what pain is, or pleasure or anything else. Just not feeling anything, just existing. So that made Data feel really good about himself. He's like, "Oh, thanks, Grandad. Glad I met you." Outside the room, Stella says he has little more than a week to live, and tells Briannon, Troy tells Briannon that he's attracted to you, and she's like, "Ew," but he's so old.
Who's Briannon?
Hey,
Kareem
Briannon.
Oh, all right, okay.
Well, it's only because they call her Kareem Briannon, but then in the rest of the episode, they call her Briannon, or Miss Briannon. So I got used to the Briannon name more than the Kareem name. But anyway, yes, he's attracted to you. She's like, "Ew."
Answer time.
Let me just. She says. This is just one thing I just want to finish off saying with this bit. She says, "Well, you say that, but the only one he talks to anymore is Data." So, that's a weird thing to say. Because I was like, "How long have they been there?"
Yeah.
The only one he talks to anymore is Data. It's like I think they've only been there today. It's like she talks like they've been there months. It's like, how long have they been there exactly? I don't know. That was just a bit weird. Anyway, go for it, G. Answer time.
Okay, so the good news to start off with is there is a correct answer in the answers that we've been given.
There is.
2 people. Oh, just to ask you guys, what was your thoughts? Because Maz, you seemed pretty confident that.
Yeah, I mean, you just said 2 people, which has made me doubt it. But the only thing I can hear him saying in my head is "Great Dispatch."
Yeah, I thought Great Dispatch as well. I would have gone D.
Yeah.
But you just said 2 people, so I'm imagining we.
No. I said that 2 people went for B.
Oh, I
wrong.
see.
That's all I said. And those 2 people are wrong. I'm sorry. Karen's
right,
and Karen gets the 50 TNG points.
Well then,
I'm
Karen.
2 for 2.
So, just a bit of a roundup. We have Mickey on 25 and Karen on 50, and Stu is yet to set off.
Never mind, Stu Plum. There's always the question at the end. There's still time.
Oh, I've seen him catch them. Don't forget, there's another 3 questions yet.
Wow, that's crazy.
Stu Plum's coming down from that week where he cleaned up and got every single question right and got full points for the first time ever on our show.
He's got complacent.
Yeah, so they've been there for months, apparently. So back in the lab, Graves tells Data he's planning to put his intellect into a computer, which people are trying to do on Star Trek all the time. But says that what would Data know about death? It's a subject alien to him. Data tells him that he has an off switch, which is very much like death. Apart from it's not anything like death, is it? Because you can just be switched back on again, which is not. That's more like sleeping, isn't it? It's more like passing out. It just goes to prove he doesn't know what death is. Thus proving Graves' point. But Graves is like, you got an off switch? Oh, really? Let me guess where that is. Is it? There. So the Enterprise arrives and Data enters the room and tells them that Ira Graves, is now, in fact, dead. He died in my arms.
Once Ira transfers himself into Data, though, like, how would he switch himself back on?
I don't know. I don't know.
It's paradox, like the chicken and the egg.
But I think when it's
Maybe
convenient, Data can just
itself.
switch himself back on.
Yeah, he does it again later on in the episode.
He might do. He might do. I made a note of that. He might have done. How are we doing for... should we... Oh, no, not quite. Not quite.
Sinister grin there from Brent.
That was a little bit, wasn't it? It was a bit sinister. Okay.
Karen says, isn't that a song? I just died in your arms tonight.
It is. Very good, Karen. Very, very good. Act 3. Back on the Enterprise, Data is debriefing Dr. Pulaski, Riker, and Picard in the ready room, and he tells them he didn't contact Dr. Salar when Ira was dying because there was no point, because all things must pass. And then he asks, can I go now? And they're like,
which, ironically, because Karen just said that, All Things Must Pass is a George Harrison song lyric.
Oh, wow. We're full of song lyrics in this one tonight. Yeah. So that Picard excuses him. Yeah, you can go. But we all think watching this that these are two very odd things for Data to say, because I mean, he's an android. He never excuses himself from anything because, you know, he's just there all the time. Like, so they perform the so he visits I didn't write her first name. Brianna. Kareem in 10 forward, and he tells her that Graves never told her how beautiful he thought she was.
Question time.
Oh, Jesus, we just had one. How did we have one already?
I told you there was a lot. I warned you. I said it would be question after question.
Right. Well,
well, this is a Lieutenant Commander question, so we're going back to 25 TNG points. And again, it's multiple choice. And it's a really easy one. So, here we go. When Data is sort of taken over by Graves, he seeks out Kareen for the first time in 10 forward. What does he call Kareen that causes her to ask whether Graves mentioned that to Data? So what word does he use to describe her that makes her go, did Graves tell you that, Data? Is it A, little dreamer, B, stargazer, C, lovesick romantic, D, free spirit?
I think I know that. I think I know that one.
I'll go through them
I didn't
again.
write it down, but I think I remember.
I didn't write it
A,
down.
little dreamer. B, stargazer. C, lovesick romantic. Or D, free spirit.
He's really going for the obscure things that I would not have made reference to this week. I can see why he wasn't worried talking to me about it beforehand.
Getting better.
So continue, Monteban.
Yeah, so where was I? Oh, she's all beautiful.
He went to see
she thought she
her.
was. She tells us she was everything to him, and then he goes to touch her hair, but stops himself, and then leaves Tim forward, and we're left with Kareem looking really creeped out for this creepy android. They perform the funeral in the transporter room with Graves in an open-faced photon torpedo.
I've got to say,
dressed up as a knight of the round table.
this is a great scene. Like, Brent is brilliant in this scene, but I think he's let down by the rest of the cast not being equally on point. I think it could have been even better than it was. It's like one of my favorite scenes in this episode.
Yeah, and
to know him was
Data
to
gives the
love him.
eulogy. Yeah, to know him is to love him. To love him is to know him. Those who knew him loved him, and those that did not know him loved him from afar.
away.
He goes to go on, and then Picard shuts him down. It's enough.
Picard's like,
Thank you, Data.
finished, Data. And he's like, no, I'm almost finished. He's like, no, you are finished, Data.
Yeah. Which, to be fair, is kind of standard practice with Picard and Data. So that didn't ring any particular alarm bells. Yeah. Should we go for the answers now?
Yeah, everybody got
hold
it
on.
right. It was so easy.
Oh, it's
It
really
did
good.
look like the last night on Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. But also, it didn't look anything like the actual guy there. Like, the beard was completely different. It was very strange.
It looked like I think they had like a knight from Madame Tussauds or something, and they just stuck it in
Like a
a
random
photon
waxwork.
torpedo and beamed it off into space. I don't think they've ever done it from a transporter room either.
No, and it's the first sort of torpedo type funeral thing in TNG, obviously, because Tasha Yar's wasn't that way.
No. They love to do a torpedo funeral, though, in Star Trek. All because of Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, when Kirk shot Spock to the Genesis planet. And there's another Star Trek II Genesis planet reference, actually, in this episode. And we've already referenced The Tale of Two Cities, which is also a reference in Star Trek II as well. So
it kind of makes
many
sense.
Star Trek II references in this episode.
It was a good logical choice and continue to be one because, on ships, the way that they used to dispose of the dead on ships is very similar. Well, no, bandage them up and whatever and dump them in the sea. Similar thing as to just discarding them in the sea.
Submarine, they put them in the torpedo tubes.
So anyway, if you guys didn't catch it, everybody got it right.
Well
That
done,
last
everyone.
one. So to do a points roundup, we've got Stu now off the mark on 25 TNG points, Mickey on 50, and Karen still in the lead with 75. So well done, everybody, for getting that last one right. It was a bit obvious because the fact that they're in 10 forward and she's looking out of the window, he would obviously call her a stargazer. So, that was the correct answer.
Stargazer.
Originally, that was going to be a commander question, and then I changed my mind. I thought, no, that's far too easy for a commander.
Very good. So after the scene in the transporter room, Picard speaks to Data in the ready room, and Data tells Picard that
He says, I know you've been pursuing this human interest, Data, with great alacrity.
A great alacrity.
Perhaps you want to give it a rest. Calm it down, bruv.
Stop trying to be a human so hard and maybe just be yourself. And on leaving, Data says, "Thank you, sir. I'll try." And then, as he exits the ready room, here we are. We see him. He has a wry smile. Checks out the butt of a passing crew member, and heads off to the turbo lift, whilst whistling the tune from.
When you think about
Alice
it,
in
she's
Wonderland.
walking from the view screen. Like, what was she doing over at the view screen?
No, this is a turbo lift.
Oh, is it? I thought it was his ready room.
No, she's just come out of the turbo lift and the door's open, and he's going to go into the turbo lift.
But didn't he come from the ready room?
Yeah, the ready room's here, and the bridge is over here.
Right.
There's 4 turbo lift doors, 2 down the front and 2 at the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mickey's saying that he also liked the silver suit that was on Graves, and if it was Mickey's choice, he would just want to be hit with a phaser, just be, vaporized rather than being blasted into space.
Yeah.
I guess it's the difference.
Well, it's cremation, isn't it? Really, basically.
versus burial sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm surprised though that they did it so quick that they didn't. I don't know whether they'd want to do an autopsy or I don't know. It just seemed like he died and they transported him into space. On the bridge, Wedge is like taking the mick out of Data and going, "Nice speech, Data. To love him is to know him.
Is to know him.
What? To love him, what?" And Data tells him that his childish-like mind cannot comprehend the time-worn appreciation of his words. And Wes is like, "You're about the same age as me, chronologically."
Which isn't quite right. He's almost twice Wes's age.
No,
but
that's
fine.
right. But, whatevs. Then to both Wes and Riker, Data declares, "Here's many things." I wrote all these down. So bear with me. "I'm a scholar, an artist, a philosopher, a lover.
A lover and a genius.
Genius. Oh my god, damn genius." But if he
Let's
was
hope that was a question.
if he was a genius, he would have tried to blend in a little more, wouldn't he?
Exactly. I mean, going on about how, but I'm so much older than all of you. And, it's like,
Try to blend in,
about the obs or what?
Yeah. He wasn't that great an intellect, to be honest, because everybody could see through him in an instant. Card and Troy are giving Kareem a tour of the ship, and Data accuses Picard in the middle of the bridge of being interested in Kareem, but tells him it's no good. She doesn't like older men or men of inferior intellect. So Picard insists he accompanies him to the ready room. And as they leave, Troy tells Riker that she felt pure jealousy emanating from Data. Very strange. Very, very strange. Oh, there's Wes ribbing Data for the "to love him is to know him" line. So then in the ready room, Data asks or tells Picard that he can apologize and he'll accept his apology. But Picard grabs him and turns him round, which I thought was brave, considering he's unstable and an android and could crush you like a...
crush you like a worm.
Like a pimple. But he does anyway, because he's the captain. Yes, so tells him that he's going to take him down to engineering to have him looked over. But Data says that he can do a self-diagnostic on himself. So he does. And he does that sort of flickery eye thing and reports that back that he's not finding anything wrong. But Picard is like, "For the first time since I've known you, I don't believe you." Oh, and also, I forgot to say, he says in this scene, I don't mention it in either scenes, but one of the things that Graves says earlier on is he's as healthy as a Regalian ox. And in this scene, Data says he's as healthy as a Regalian ox. So it's one of those nods to You know, oh, it's Graves. If you hadn't already got there.
Well, the whistling gave him away in the scene just before anyway, because
Yeah.
it was well established in Encounter at Farpoint that Data can't whistle.
Yeah. Oh, yes. I did not get that either.
Another interesting fact.
Yeah. In engineering.
Like that. Boom.
In engineering. There you go. Geordie.
He's got a lace face.
Scans him but can't find anything wrong. So Picard asks Data to go wait outside. Indeed, as Data's like a teenager, he's like, why should I? It's about me, not you. It's like, really? When an old man really suddenly turn into a 13-year-old? But well, I guess he was arrogant, wasn't he? So.
Well, no, this is the whole thing, though, that gets a bit of criticism about this episode, is that Graves is meant to be this genius scientist, and yet quite quickly he can't even act like Data on an android and gives himself away. Like, you know, so it's not very believable if he was meant to be a genius.
Yeah. The only thing I can think is that his personality has become unstable. That, you know, whatever technology he's used is not perfect, and it seems to be becoming more unstable as time goes on.
Yeah, I think you're right. Troy suggests that maybe if we can't find anything physically wrong with him, maybe we need to test his mind. So she takes him to his quarters to conduct a psychotronic stability examination. Whatever one of those is. She's going to conduct one on Data. And so Data tells her it's a waste of time, but she attaches the devices to her head and makes him watch clips of this episode interspersed with clips of the Genesis experiment.
There's a picture of Yar at some point, isn't there?
There was a picture of Yar, yeah.
I believe so.
There's pictures of Graves and that from the episode. It's like, wow, how did they get that? And why the Genesis experiment? Who knows? Oh, yeah, go. So Troy brings the results to Picard and Geordie in the ready room. She tells him that there are two disparate personalities residing in him. The dominant personality that's brilliant but vain and hates authority, and it's winning over the weaker ego. It looks like we will lose Data forever. Dun, 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 dun.
Karen made a pun.
Oh, go on. What was it?
Yahoo!
Yahoo!
As in Yahoo!
Yeah.
We haven't had a pun in a while. Well done, Karen.
It's very well good. Done. Yeah. Picard finds that despite him ordering Data to his quarters, that he's actually in 10 forward, so he orders Worf to go keep an eye on him. Data's in 10 forward approaches Karine and tells her that he is in fact Ira.
Ira. I am Ira.
I am Ira. She says he won't get away with it, but Data thinks that possession's 9/10. Well, he doesn't say that, but that's what the outcome of that conversation is.
But it's my body now. What can they do?
What can you do? Yeah. In the ready room, Solar describes Ira using the exact same words Troy just used to describe the personality that's
question time
locked in Data. Go for it, G.
Here you go. So this is second commander question worth 50 TNG points. I will give you guys a spoiler right now that the captain question is very hard this evening. So if you want to stand an early chance of getting the lead and winning, this is the question to go after. So put all your thought and focus into this one. Right, so Picard calls Dr. Solar and Troy into the ready room. He asks Solar, as Monty was just saying, to describe Graves. She responds with a list of descriptives. Which one is not one that she said? So you're looking for one that she didn't say. So here's the list of descriptives. Brilliant. Egocentric. chauvinistic, arrogant, genius.
Mm.
So which of those is not a word that Salar used to describe Graves? I'll go through them again. Brilliant, egocentric, chauvinistic, arrogant, genius.
I think I know.
I think I know. I could be wrong.
It's between two. I definitely know three of them were. It's just between two, but I think I know which one.
So it's not A, B, or C. You have to put the word that you think is the wrong word out.
Just to confuse people.
Yeah. So I'll go through them again.
I no longer understand. I got it.
Brilliant, egocentric, chauvinistic, arrogant, genius.
Very weird thing. Streamlabs OBS tells me we've been live for 30 minutes. Very, very odd. I was just looking back and everything looks all right, so I don't know why it's telling me that. Everything looks fine. So. Oh, what are we going to have then? Let's have a look. I'll just finish that sentence while we get some results in. Some answers. Yeah, so as Salar's describing, there's exactly the same things Troy said, that the personality was residing in Data. You can tell amongst the crew, I think the pennies finally dropped. Picard's like, wait a minute.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah. So, Data holding Kareen's hand tells her that, yay, think of everything I'll accomplish over the next thousands of years. And don't worry, I'll build you a robot body as well. But she doesn't want to be a robot. So Data gets mad, or Ira gets mad. Ira in Data gets mad, and accidentally crushes her hand, and then leaves. Worf, who's been watching all this, informs Picard.
One of the goof points that I had, I just liked the way it was worded. It made me chuckle. Was that she reacts with barely a whimper to getting her hand crushed so badly that it ends up being fractured in two places, but there's no explanation for her almost Navy SEAL level of emotional stoicism.
Yeah.
And resistance to pain. So yeah, you would have expected a slightly bigger reaction if he just literally crushed her hand into being broken.
I don't think he really did. I think they just made that up just to make him feel bad.
Make him feel bad.
Yeah. See what you've done there. See what you've done.
Could have been.
Yeah.
Okay, so answer time. Everybody's got their answers kind of in. What were your guys' thoughts? So it was brilliant, egocentric, chauvinistic, arrogant,
I'm gonna go
or
with
genius.
Chauvinistic.
I'm pretty sure that she said egocentric, chauvinistic, and arrogant. My first thought was brilliant, but I'm going to go with genius.
So Maz is the only one with the right answer. Yeah,
Yay!
It was genius. You did me a really big favor by going through what Troy said and saying genius, because I was thinking, one of my questions later, that's the odd one out.
Oh, I didn't see genius. I didn't.
So yes, when Solar is asked to describe him, she says he's brilliant, egocentric, chauvinistic, arrogant, but she doesn't say genius. She doesn't call him that. So all the first four were true, and the last one was false.
It's just he calls himself genius.
So no extra TNG points for any of our viewers, unfortunately.
Or me.
4 for 4.
Huh?
I said, am I 4 for 4? I think I might have gotten all 4 right so far.
Yeah, you have.
Oh,
Go for 5.
Golly.
Well,
Pressure.
If somebody Googled the captain question, they stand a chance. But remember, the captain question is the fastest on the buzzer. So it's the person to get the answer in right first.
You're basically giving people license to cheat as long as they do it quickly.
No, not at all. I'm suggesting that people don't cheat, because by the time they've done that, somebody might get in with the answer.
We've probably got some. There's Data
Crushing her hand.
her hand.
In a vice-like grip.
Yeah. There you go. In Picard's ready room, Picard's speculating that perhaps they actually held Ira's funeral prematurely. And he quotes Shakespeare. So long as men can breathe, eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee. I assume it's Shakespeare. It seemed Shakespeare-y.
I have no idea.
Didn't come up in my triv.
No, okay. Well, I think it's Shakespeare. Don't ask me which one. Smiler will probably be able to tell me which one. But Picard faces Data/Ira in engineering. Ira dismisses Data's right to live, as he was a machine and he is a man. So Picard joins him up in the warp core gantry, although Ira wishes he hadn't. Says, don't come up here. And when he gets up there, he finds that Geordi and one of his engineers is unconscious. Picard tries to convince him that something has gone very wrong with the experiment, gesturing to the fallen crew lying about his feet. And then Picard contacts Dr. Pulaski and asks on the condition of Miss Brienne. And Dr. Pulaski reports that her hand is fractured in 2 places, but she's working on repairing it. And again, Picard implores Ira to set Data free, but Ira loses his cool and smacks Picard and knocks him out.
Oh, boom.
It seems to have shocked Ira.
It's not one
the
of
finest
strong points.
action scene, is it?
Just bizarre.
Movement.
Data hits him this way and he spins around the opposite way. It's so weird.
It's weird. It's a weird
really poorly choreographed.
Yeah. So Mickey, he's only got one more note. Oh, so you never know.
Let's hoping that's the final question.
It could be the one. Upon waking up, Picard tracks Data down to his quarters, where they find Data turned off on the floor. And he comes back on. He turns himself back on, because I assume he got turned off. So that answers that question from earlier. And he asks Geordi if he can ask a question, and Geordi replies that he did just ask a question. He's like, oh, you're quite right. I did. So he asks why I'm on the floor. And why are you all looking down at me? And Picard recognizes his friend Data is back. And he's himself again. Karine spots that Ira has now downloaded himself into Data's computer, though Picard says in his log that whilst the knowledge was downloaded, the consciousness was lost. On the bridge, Wes is taking the mick out of Data again for the love him is to know him speech.
Which Data can't remember.
And he's glad. He's like, well, I'm glad I don't remember. I hope I didn't do anything unbecoming of a Starfleet officer. And Riker asks him if he remembers wrestling a Klingon Targ. Which Data looks a bit taken back by. And then asks, did I win? And that's it. That's the end of the episode. I head off on the next adventure.
Yay.
Hooray. Last question.
So, question time. So, this one's going to need a bit of explanation because...
Oh, gosh.
It requires 2 answers. It's, as everybody knows, the captain question is worth 100 TNG points. However, if you can only give one half of the answer, you only get 50 TNG points. The other person who gets the second part of the answer will get the other 50 TNG points. If the same person gets both parts, excellent. But that's not going to happen. Right. Here we go. So,
I might try and answer, but don't count me as winning anything. I just want to see if I can go 5 for 5.
what is the name of the tune that Graves whistles, and later on, when Graves has taken over Data, he also whistles? For the answer, I need the name of the song and who wrote the song. Is the second answer that I needed. So to get the full 100, you've got to tell me the name of the song and who wrote the song.
Oh, I only knew half of it. 4.5 out of 5. In fact, I don't know. Is there a trick question in this? In case there's a trick question, I'm going to...
I got it.
Is that it? Is it?
No.
What? Is that how you wrote it?
It's the Tin Man.
Oh, so you went for a totally different song title?
Me? Yeah, but I thought that's... in the triv, I thought, that's what it's called.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. It was a piece of like sort of goof trivia that it's actually If I Only Had a Brain.
Oh, yes, because Tin Man's after a brain, isn't he?
No, it's the Scarecrow that's after a brain.
Oh, yeah.
But that's what the song's called. But then in later parts of the lyrics, they also have, they do the variations for each of the different characters in The Wizard of Oz. But I think the actual song itself is called If I Only Had a Brain.
Right.
Don't know.
It's a very confusing question.
Okay.
Karen's come up with a
Jack
writer.
Haley. Okay. So, here we go then. Answers. So the only person, there's only 50 TNG points going out here, and they're going to Maz, because Maz is right. The song is called If I Only I Had a Brain. And the song is written by Adriana Casalotti and Buddy Ebsen. So it's written by two people, Adriana Casalotti and Buddy Ebsen.
You mean nobody in chat got that?
Yeah, I know. I told you I was going to make it hard.
And they call themselves Star Trek fans and they watch this episode.
Well, it wasn't quite 5 for 5, but 4.5 out of 5.
Let's face it, nobody was ever going to get that.
Probably the best I've ever scored on this.
Well, all it needed was somebody who's a big Wizard of the Oz fan, and because the same writers practically wrote all the songs for Wizard of Oz. So if we had a Wizard of Oz, yeah, exactly. So from our viewers this evening, the roundup of scores are as follows: Karen with 75 TNG points. Mickey with 50 TNG points, and Stu with 25. So our winner this evening is Karen. Yay!
Low scoring evening, considering the plethora of questions.
Yeah, well, I had a week off. You guys had a week off, so I thought I'd come back hard and difficult.
It was good.
Yeah.
Challenging. Everybody likes a challenge.
Yeah. As the seasons progress, the questions are just going to get harder and harder.
Yeah,
because I know what you guys are looking for now.
Oh, they like easy questions. It's always got to be multi-choice, except for the cat.
Yeah, it'll always be multiple choice, but then I'll make them harder.
There's the last question. There's the last picture. Sorry, I didn't show the last picture of the confrontation, the big showdown between Picard and Ira / Data in engineering. There you go. There we go. So, interesting episode.
Yeah. Did you know that the actor who played Ira Graves, he was only 56 when he played this character, but he
seems a lot
played a much older character and seemed a lot older.
I think he's
That's
dead
what
now.
alcohol does.
Yeah, I think 2007 he died.
Was it?
And his son, I don't suppose he's been in loads of things, so you could probably think of other things. But I don't know if you watch Supernatural, but his son is the guy who plays Crowley, the devil. He's also one of the bad guys from White Collar. He's been in like loads of different series, but yeah, I didn't realize that was his son till I saw it earlier when I was looking him up. But yeah, he died in 2007, I believe.
Yeah. Yes. So, scores.
Scores on the doors.
Scores on the doors, and
Yep. Start putting your scores in chat, guys.
I've got to give.
One last time.
I've got to give Karen a point.
Yeah.
Oh, this is Karen's first point this season.
And one last time, just before we're wrapping up, don't forget to like the video.
Don't forget to like the video. Yep, thank you very much. Yes, well done, Karen. First, I didn't realise this just got you your scores for the first time. Got you on the scoreboard.
Where's the scoreboard? I can't see.
I'm bringing up the scoreboard now. I'm bringing it up. I'm doing it. There we go. Yeah. There you go. So that's myself, Karen, Mickey, and Joe, all on one. But Stu Plum, he's still in the lead with 2.
Well done, Stu Plum, overall, and well done, Karen, for today. Oof, difficult. I'm between 2 numbers.
Oh yeah.
Do I over egg or under egg? Oh.
Do you? Do you over or under?
Do you?
Oh, I've got the new PlayStation 4 SingStar game, by the way. You know, so if ever you want to play that, we've got more different tracks.
4.
Can you use the old discs on the new one?
No, I mean, I've still got the old PlayStation that we can use the discs on, but we've just got the PlayStation 4 one. You can use your phones as microphones, but
Cool.
I'm going to buy some mics because it'll be better.
Can you use
It's got like
microphones as
85
microphones?
tracks. I think it has to be special microphones, unfortunately. But I'll
I've got
get
special
some.
microphones.
It does up to 8 players. Anyway.
Very cool.
Oh, Mickey's giving it a 6. He's straight out there.
Oh, he's in there.
Come on, Stu Plum, give us your score.
I've got to change the
Karen.
score now.
Why you
Gotta
got to change your
change
score
it.
based on other people's scores?
No.
You weirdo.
keep the
Just
same.
score it what you want.
All
What
right.
you would have.
Ready?
Oh
Still
no,
flipping
I'm
the
not.
page. Why are you flipping
I
the page?
haven't even thought about what my
Keep
score's
it on
gonna
the
be.
same
Hold on.
page, Monty. Stop it.
Oh.
Hold on.
Stu Plum goes 6.
There we go.
Are we doing ours?
We're doing it. 3, 2,
yeah.
1,
2, 1.
go.
Oh, I'm surprised at you, G-Star.
Why?
Because you normally overscore data episodes.
This is true, and there are some bits where I think again Brent was able to spread his wings on this episode, and he does a good job. But he's actually literally the only person who's holding this episode together. And part of that, I think, is just awful scripting, terrible scripting, and that's echoed with a lot of reviews online, and that what people say.
Was it another casualty of the writer's strike? I don't know.
I don't know. There was
Not
just
that I'm
there was
aware of. I
there was
didn't read
huge
anything
amount of
about that.
criticism, but I have to agree. There's certain lines in it that are just really bad writing,
Yeah.
in my opinion. Anyway,
I just, I know that Brent Spiner's good at doing like different, characters that shows different sides or whatever. But the whole thing was so overacted. And I know that Ira was an overacting type of guy anyway, but it just all seemed so kind of unbelievable and amdrammy to me. But anyway.
yeah. Again, it's like there's a lot of things that Data does, like his reaction to the captain on the bridge, and then Troy, feels that she has to say, I sense jealousy from him, whereas really everybody in the room without her even saying that.
Yeah.
She was sensed that he was giving out some weird kind of emotion. So it's like, I don't know, it's just very dumbed down kind of scripting.
And it's one of those ones again where a bridge officer is acting like completely out of their tree, and like they don't relieve him of duty, they don't sort of, you know, put him temporarily in the brig, you know, they don't restrict his access, they don't do anything.
No, they don't.
Again.
It's once again, it's kind of a theme, isn't it? I didn't realize how lackadaisical they were on their cruise ship Enterprise.
When it comes to the bridge crew, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Mickey's saying he really enjoyed Elementary Dear Data. Yeah.
Dear Watson.
That is, yeah. I mean, obviously we scored it there really high, didn't we? Like over 8.
That's top score so far.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you know, we might be proven wrong, and it's a bit, you know, annoying because it peaks early. But I think that's going to be one of the best episodes of the whole series, probably the best. But we'll see. Maybe we'll find another one we like more.
Oh, there's going to be loads. I mean, what
this
season 2? Yeah, I've got one or two. I've got one or two.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I can think of one.
I can think of one definitely that might top it. But,
cool.
Which I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to that one.
And what have we got next week, or have we finished talking about this one yet? Or
well, I was just going to say my reasons.
Right.
For the 6. And that doesn't take away from anything that G just said. I agreed with everything he said. It was there were script problems. It was overacted, but for some reason I just enjoyed it. I don't know if maybe it's got to do with, like, I don't know, just where my headspace, where I'm at when I watch an episode or something. I don't know. But
you do watch them twice.
I do, yeah.
So it's not just a fleeting headspace.
Yeah, that's true. Or whether it's just I'm just happier this week. But I did just enjoy it a lot more than like last week's episode. I just found it more fun. I had a lot more like funny things to quip and poke holes about it, and I just enjoyed watching it. And I quite like that guy. You know, he's in a lot of Star Trek. You know, he's in a lot of Star Trek episodes. I find him fun. Yeah, I don't know. Just had a good time.
I think you could see why they brought back that actor, Susie, or whatever her name was, to play Kayla, because I think she afforded herself well as a Vulcan. You know, immediately you kind of got
she had a lot of presence.
Yeah, and that was delivered by good acting, I think, not just because she looked the part, but because, you know, the way she was standing very straight and very rigid, and yeah, I think she just she did the job well. So I think she sort of stood out to.
And the fact that Roddenberry wanted to move
audiences and stuff, and that's why they brought her back.
Roddenberry wanted to move away from Vulcans, but I think they're sadly missed in TNG. And having a Vulcan in the crew, I was hoping we'd see a bit more of her as that Vulcan.
Only episode she's in.
Yeah, and I think she was kind of underused in this episode as well. And there was a couple of things about her that struck me. One was, well, she was very good at it. 2, I thought her ears were too long.
They look quite false.
Like if you look at Spock's ears, they're just like a small point, almost like pointing forward, you know? But they look like big plastic.
Could have been the way she was wearing
things
her hair.
I don't know. They just they looked a bit overdone. They looked a bit over-egged, you know? You just need a little point, like. But also I really liked when Picard delivered his Shakespeare line in the ready room. She gave her one of those Spock-like Vulcan raised one eyebrows. You know, like when Spock would be like interesting. You know, she did that. And I just thought, oh, she's been watching Spock and getting her like Vulcanisms off, you know. So I really like that. So that was my notes. That was my notes about her. So
Mickey just put in chat. So the secret of being a good TNG reviewer is to watch it twice. Well, to be honest with you, Mickey, I've probably watched a lot of these episodes, you know, into the 20 times. So yeah.
But you only watch it once for each week, don't you?
Oh yeah, like.
And I only watch it once as well. It's only Monty Man that watches it twice.
It's only me.
I'm always watching TNG. like I'm also watching season 6 at the moment as well.
It's only because I do my scene by scene breakdowns, so I just I'll watch it again. But
Stuplum said Botox and then ears. I don't know if he's saying that maybe her ears have
That's
had like
why she was
Botox
standing
fillers
up.
or something.
maybe that's what it was. And
she certainly didn't have any Botox in her eyebrow, in her forehead, or else she wouldn't have been able to do the whole.
So it's interesting you were saying about like how you feel at a certain time, and that may sort of decide on your score. Like I was saying earlier, on one of the sites that I was looking at where they give all these interesting facts out, back in the early 2000s, one like main TV critic review site scored this episode 8 out of 10, and then a few years ago, I think it was in 2016, another one scored it like as one of the worst episodes of TNG ever. So it's like really weird how a lot of these episodes, if you're going back and looking at how they've been appreciated and scored, could be to do with something that's relevant in at the time that makes people change their mind about certain things.
Yeah.
On IMDb, it gets 7 out of 10.
7. Yeah, yeah. I don't feel so bad with my 6 now. Hey, Mickey's saying he can't watch these things twice. He's got Fortnite to play. He's got things to do. He's got places to go.
I mean, I was between a 5 and a 6, I must say, but I went with a 5 because I just think I didn't quite enjoy it as much as last week's. But yeah,
and I think it bears out in the
was
scores.
Completely unreasonable.
It's again, it's one of those middling. Could be one higher, could be one lower than a 5, and it bears out in our scores of these episodes that were so meh, whether it's the Outrageous O'Connor, Loud as a Whisper, Schizoid Man, they're all average, middle of the road season 2 episodes, aren't they? And that's where they're sitting. So I think we've got it about right.
Yeah.
I'm the harshest scorer because I've just noticed I've given out 3 4s.
Yeah, it's you're the Revel Horwood, the Craig Revel Horwood of the TNG review.
Scorer.
I was a bit Craigie in first series though, because I was, you guys were all like, yeah, but I'm only doing the first series against the first series, and I was like, no, I'm doing it against. I know there's better stuff coming in later series, but G's taken over the Revel Horwood this season.
I'm not going to be. I've forgotten what he's called on the end. The Italian guy,
Bruno
Toglioni or Corleone or whatever he's. Yeah, Bruno. I don't know what he's called.
Something like that.
Yeah, I'm not. I might be high scoring, but I'm not going to be getting up and jumping about on my table. For one, this top only comes down to about my belly button. So
I have that same issue. It keeps riding on me. It keeps looking like I'm doing the Picard maneuver, but it's just, it's like.
Oh, I tell you what. I watched a little TNG documentary during the week.
Oh, right.
Well, I say documentary. It was just a Trek culture YouTube video, and it took us behind the scenes of some of the little on-screen nuances of characters and where they come from. And one of the things that it covers was the Riker Maneuver 1 and the Riker Maneuver 2. They actually mentioned that there are 2 Riker maneuvers. The first one was the sitting in the seats one. the way he dominates. Riker doesn't sit down; he dominates chairs. And the other one is he can't find a good surface that isn't worth putting his foot up on, whether it be the con or a log or another chair. He'll stick his foot up on it. And this all stems from the fact that just before filming of Encounter at Farpoint, he was moving furniture. And as a part of a furniture removal, he completely did his back in. And he's been suffering with severe back trouble ever since. And working long hours in shoots like on the bridge in Star Trek, standing up all day, you often see Riker, and he's lopsided to the left side because he puts weight on one leg to help ease the strain on his back, which is why he's always kind of lopsided to the left side. And also, he struggles to like pull and push chairs because of his back. So he found that just mounting a chair from behind just helped his back. And the same as just resting his foot up on a log, or like while in the middle of filming, whilst he's filming, doing
And
take
he sort
after
of leans
take.
on it with his arm,
And then he leans on it again. It just helped his back out. So it just became a character trait from him resting his back. So
Cool.
yeah, I never knew that.
Happy to know then, after all of that there's people like us taking the mick out of it constantly.
Yeah, that's right. Especially of us that have back problems. Yeah. Good evening, Ronald. Welcome. It's good to have you here. Feel free to head backwards and answer any questions you want. See how well you did. Yes.
They were difficult this evening.
They also covered some of the others that I might mention. If they come up later on, I will be able to go. Oh,
so the next episode is Unnatural Selection.
Right, yes.
Can I remember what that is?
No.
No, none of us can remember because we're now over 40 and we can't remember what happened last week, let alone 30 years ago.
It's the one where they've got the they come across the ship and everybody's kind of like dead on it and aged, and then Pulaski gets put in quarantine.
Yeah, and she grows old.
Yeah, it's a really fun episode. She almost dies.
You're so mean to poor old Dr. Pulaski. So mean.
She's so mean to Data, so you know.
To be fair, this season everybody's been mean to Data, haven't they?
That's true. He takes a lot of flack.
He does.
I don't know if we're still streaming.
Yeah, we are.
Oh. Hello, there we are.
We're still live, yeah. It seems like we're just talking amongst ourselves, not with a care in the world. But, oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah, Ronald's joined us.
Yeah, Ronald's here.
Well, quickly before we start, fully wrapping up and stuff. Don't anybody forget this Friday, 8 p.m. Monty Zone.
Yes,
most haunted locations
is happening this weekend. Ooh. Yep. So we're looking forward to talking about all things the paranormal and ghosts and poltergeists and hauntings and things of that nature. I think we're going to go to this week as an introduction. We might give a bit of an overview of those things and come up with some examples of the most haunted places from around the world and have a little quick exploration of them.
Although most of them are close to home, so
a lot of them are, yeah.
Mm.
Do you know, funny enough, this afternoon, I've got this idea that we should because we're going to be filming some out and about stuff, IRL, as they say on the internet. And I said, well, we should wear suits and with torches and be X-Files, FBI agents. And Smiler came in this afternoon to bring me a cup of tea. I had Auto Trader up and I was looking at Chrysler 300s because it's a nice big American car with a big boot. It looks like something out of X-Files. And you can pick a good example up for just a couple of grand. She was like, Mark,
they mostly drive Monteos in X-Files.
Yeah, you're not buying a car just so you can do a bit of filming.
I was like, but look, it would be a great backdrop to videos. No,
My car looks a little bit executive-y, if that helps, but...
Yeah. Yes, anyway. Yeah,
so
Ford Tauruses, wasn't it? Ford Tauruses was the main car. They drove a lot of Ford Tauruses.
Yeah, and Mondeos. But it was a lot of Ford because I think Ford had some sort of sponsorship deal with them.
Yeah.
But just to slightly change the subject as well, if you haven't checked it out, I uploaded a G Stars Vault this week to this channel. So if you haven't seen that yet, please go and check it out. And then after this week's Monty Zone, the one in 2 weeks' time, which is on Friday the 28th, I believe.
Yeah.
That's going to be going back to the UFO subject, and we've got guest Ben Walgate coming from the big channel 401 Files again to join us for that. So, and we've got a really, really interesting angle at which we're coming at that subject matter for this one. So yeah, just doing a little bit of plugging.
Yeah, well done. I'm
Night,
really
night,
excited,
Stu.
really excited for those. So, yeah, and if you haven't had enough of me, then you can always join us for Fortnite tomorrow.
Will do.
Cool bananas. Okay, well, thank you very much, G-Star, Mazim and Bob, for this evening.
Pleasure.
And thank you to everyone in chat. Thanks, Mickey, for coming along and doing your research, getting those episodes watched. Thank you, Stu Plum. Well done, Karen, for winning the competition. All those TNG points are heading your way. And thanks to... and if I missed anyone else...
No. Oh, well, we have Roro pop on. So
Roro. Yes, thank you, Ronald.
Just now.
Thank you for coming along. And we will see you at the TNG review next Wednesday at 8 o'clock.
Same place, same
Cheers.
time. See you then.
Oh, I need to do that one.